Oh, that's awesome. Hey, welcome back to the channel. I appreciate y'all once again for hanging out with me. And yeah, this is the second episode of Train Yardz. I got a good one. Brian Glock. Amazing artist. Master model railroader. Countless numbers of awards and magazine covers and stuff. I mean, the layout is unbelievable. So I had the very fortunate calling him my friend, but just going out there and interviewing him and talking about, him getting into trains and all that stuff. Brian's just one of those good dudes, you know what I'm saying? I can't say that enough. He's just a solid guy. Yeah, I'm gonna be quiet, man, and just let this layout really speak for itself. It's so good, so good. All right. So I usually start with you just saying your name, and
Okay.
so let us know who you are.
Okay. Yeah. Hello. My name is Brian Glock. Not to be confused with the gun. No relation.
That sounds good. Sounds good. So I make sure I ask this one question. I started off so I don't forget it. When did this become more than a hobby, right? Because when y'all see what I'm looking at here, this is amazing. And it's no longer like the little tree, the train under the tree hobby thing now. When did that become?
That became a reality. I was always interested, and a lot of it was armchair. I had started a couple of layouts in where I used to live prior to this. But when I retired and moved down to Georgia, and we had a house with a full basement, it's like it opened the floodgates. So all my pent-up interest over the years was released, and I just started.
Now, did you always want to do a big layout like this, or was it?
Oh, if it was up to me, it would be bigger, but this is as much property as I could control. Or that I was allowed.
Yeah, that you were allotted, huh?
Right, exactly.
So what's the square footage of the room?
Well, I really don't know the square footage. I mean, dimensionally, from this end of the layout to the far wall is 25.5 feet, and then it's 15 feet across.
Right. Wow. So I mean, that's a lot.
But, well, it sounds like it might be a lot, but it isn't. If you want to have an operating track plan, you need a lot of room.
Yeah. So when did you? We were talking earlier before we even started this. You mentioned you loved trains as a little kid too, right?
Yeah, my dad got me started. I mean, I think I know I have some pictures in an album where I was in diapers before I was when the first set was a Marx wind-up train.
Yeah.
Under the Christmas tree, and then I think by the time I was 2, my dad had. Well, we dumped the wind-up trains, and we bought a Marx. He bought a Marx electric train to run under the layout. But the big thing was in 1946, right after the war. And I was 5 years old. I'll never forget. And we lived in New York City. And we had a basement with I'm going back, it had a coal bin and a coal fire. That Christmas, there was a 4x8 down there. So I had the Marx train set that I had and a brand new American Flyer train set with the Hudson engine. And it was, it was really nice.
Wow.
So. And ever since then, I stuck with that until I was about 12 years old, and then the HO bug got me, and I traded in a lot of almost all of the American Flyer stuff.
Now, was it like an off and on type of hobby, quote unquote, or was it like, hey,
always interested, always, got a hold of magazines. I had my best friend, his dad, who was another guy that's responsible for me being such a train nut.
Right, right.
He was a train nut, and he had an HO layout, and so my friend and I, we helped him.
Like put it together.
And I think we probably hindered it more than we did anything else.
Right,
but
right.
he was really good that way. So he kind of nurtured my my interest in model railroading.
Okay, okay. Huh.
But then, you know, girls, school, jobs, work, family.
Life.
Yeah, life happens. And, you know, I was an armchair railroader for quite a while. And then after we bought the first house and I finished off an upstairs room. It's a Cape Cod, so it had one room finished and another one wasn't. I said, well, that's good. I'll finish this one off. And I started building a layout.
Right, right.
5x9 or something like that. Nothing big. Atlas train track plan.
Right, right.
And at the time, but my daughter got big enough. She was in the next room to our bedroom. So we're going to move her upstairs. That came down. I had to redo it and finish it all off.
Right,
and everything.
right.
She went upstairs and then I joined the West Island Model Railroaders, a Long Island club, and they're actually still in existence. And I did that for a number of years. We met once a week. And it was fun. So I had a case and I packed my trains in it and brought it over there.
Towed them there,
ran them and had open houses and things like that. But then my job changed and everything, and my hours were not suitable to go into meetings and stuff like that. And I worked nights and all that. So that went by the wayside. And then I packed everything in boxes. When I moved down here, all the boxes came down and they were stored away. I mean, I still have boxes under here when I open up. It's like Christmas. I don't even remember I had this, you know. But
man.
Yeah, so this was really
now,
the first layout I completed.
Yeah, I was going to say your layout is, I would say 99.9%. Because, you know, as you know, in the hobby, it's always railroad is never complete, right?
Right.
I mean, you've got awards, and I think what attracted me to you, and I've deemed you my mentor
Well,
without even knowing. So you are, but it's your level of detail is what I love about what you do, you know.
And you know what? I'm a big fan of John Allen, the Gorian defeated. You know, I used to just drool over those magazines and the detail that he did at the time that he did it. It was just amazing, and you know, I never forgot that. So, yeah, I like the detail, and I like. A lot of people think I'm crazy, but I like hand laying track.
Yeah. I remember when you first told me this is all hand laid. I was just like mind blown.
Yeah.
So what about hand laid track?
Oh well, I mean, the reason I like hand laid track is that I just drew lines, and I built the track to fit the lines. I didn't have to do a number 6 here and a number 5. You know, I didn't have to stick to whatever turnout that I needed to fit in there. Which
you
didn't have to worry about. I could build a switch into another switch. I mean, it was
wow, interesting. So, do you have a jig for that at all that you made? Or
I made a jig, but it's only a filing jig for the points and for the frog. That's
interesting. Wow. So you've been model railroading for a while, right? Where do you see model railroading going?
I don't see it going anywhere good, honestly. Because, I mean, I'm 82. All my friends that are interested in model railroads, excluding you, are all a bunch of old hairbags, and we're dying off. And the kids coming up today, I don't think they have the interest. You know, when we were kids, you got a Lionel train or American Flyer train. You know, you were born into that.
Right.
You saw people riding trains. You saw trains.
You just
kids
don't
today,
see that now.
no, they're on their phones. They're on a computer. They're playing games.
That's a good
model
point.
building and on a whole. I mean, I don't care if you like to build trains or if you like to build planes or whatever, ships. it's
cars or anything.
cars or anything.
Yeah.
It's the tactile skills are disappearing.
Right, right. So, I mean, there has to be something we could do, right? I mean, these companies are still churning out.
Yeah, and you know what, too, Wayman, that going up to these shows up in Springfield, Massachusetts,
Mm-hmm.
The Amherst show, for all the years, there's a lot of these. You think, oh well, this is a big company. They're not big companies. They're some guy in his basement
Mom and
putting
pop
together
shops. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
You know, putting together. Maybe he sells 100 kits or 150 kits or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But he can't make a living at it.
Right, right.
But they do it because they like doing it.
They love the hobby.
Right.
Wow.
But you know, that's aside from some of the real big, I think you know, like
Walthers
Athearn,
and
and Atlas and things like that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
all the rest of the stuff for the real modeler, like that wants to build
And
kits,
Kit Bash and all that stuff.
right? You know, that wants to build kits that are more complex. These guys are just small little businesses,
Right.
and they come and go.
Mm.
You know, you go there one year, he's there, and the next year,
What happened?
Right. No, they're gone.
Man. Oh.
So.
All right, I'm gonna jump in here real quick. If you like what you've been watching, please subscribe, smash that like button, and share the video. Real quick, I wanted to jump in and just say, hey, I got a little clip of something that I think y'all will like with Brian. He has his own wood shop in the backyard, and he actually built it. Yo, it's real quick. Check it out.
You can see it's storage, but
Yeah.
bandsaw, table
So you
saw.
have your own wood shop, and you built your own
I built
I
this.
guess you built the barn too,
Yeah.
sir.
Oh yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brian Glock.
It's a mess here. I'm right now. But this has got history. This workbench, my great grandfather built about 1915,
Wow.
and it's all old.
And you still have it?
Yep, my dad had it, and when he passed on, and it's the only thing I wanted from him, because it's a cabinet maker's workbench. So these still work, and they're all wood.
And those are what? Vice?
Yep. And then you put the stops in here. You can build cabinets. And same thing with the end down there.
Unbelievable.
But it's a mess. I mean,
it's a wood shop though. It's
yeah.
You know.
I mean, because I built a lot of furniture. I built my son's kitchen.
But I was just wondering.
This
you
is a
built
monster.
so
500 pounds of.
You use this equipment to build the bench for your layout, right?
Oh yeah.
Is that? Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. So that's why I didn't buy common lumber.
Right.
I bought sheets of plywood, and here, this is sand ply.
And you said it's sand ply. So
I'm gonna show you what the stuff looks like.
oh yeah, that's very nice. Sheesh. But let's talk about real quick the MMR. So
Oh, okay.
I done the first part or one of the parts, the structures.
Right.
And you have so you are a master model railroader. Like you've done all, is it 12, right? 12?
I think there's
11 or 12.
but I did 7. You do 7.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some people, there's only 2 I know of. Peter Youngblood and Joe Nichols Jr.
Ah, okay. Were you nervous at all? Because I was like hella nervous, man, when you guys were...
No. I mean, I wasn't nervous. And it actually started out, we started out with cars.
Mm-hmm.
And it was myself, Charlie Mason, Gary Jerabit, God rest his soul, he passed on.
Mm-hmm.
And we decided, okay, well, we're gonna start this MMR program, and we'll start building freight cars. We'll start with the scratch built cars.
Mm-hmm.
So we all started on the same pulpwood car. I finished mine first. Gary never finished his. Charlie Mason finished his.
Mm-hmm.
And I won. I think I got first place with that thing or something, best in show, whatever.
Right.
And I did that pretty quick. I said, this is fun. It's it isn't that difficult. So then I popped out 2 more box cars, and for the passenger car category, I made a great big long oddball drover's caboose.
Right.
And they all won awards, and they're running on the layout now.
Now, was that maybe a little Kickstarter too into like the detailing of what you do?
No, because
you've been doing that before.
Yeah, I've been detailing before.
Time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
I'm sorry.
You mentioned you have George Celios.
Yeah, his first kit.
Kit is
with the engine house.
The engine house.
It was, he built it off the John Allen plans.
Wow.
So that kit is of the engine house that John Allen had on his Gory and Defeated back in the 60s.
And then he like tweaked it a little bit, I guess. Is that what?
Well, I guess, he made us in kit form.
Right.
Whatever.
Wow.
And it was interesting. It was a nice kit too.
Mm-hmm.
$8.95 back then.
$8. I promise you, I'm going to look that kit up before I leave here today and see what they're selling it for now.
Yeah, it's incredible, the increase of but it's just like everything else.
Yeah, inflation and
locomotives. I mean, I remember you buy an Athearn locomotive for $25. I mean, you got the A and the B unit. Now you can't get the truck.
Without
you can't get a pair of trucks for that.
Taking out a loan and a second mortgage or something. So,
but honestly, the stuff today is better.
Mm-hmm.
And the unfortunate part of it is none of it's made in this country.
Yeah. I know I buy a lot of scale trains stuff.
Beautiful stuff. It's all made in China.
Yeah.
And the other one,
I get it.
Rapido. I have a couple of Rapido things now. Boy, the detail that guy puts on them is amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I got 2 of them myself. Oh,
and they run.
It's like they always say you can stick an AK in the mud and pick it up and still shoot. I feel like
it's like that. That's what.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's just good quality, solid work. But yeah, Brian, I think that's it, man. Like I said, this was,
on another thing too, what I'd like to discuss is how to build like bench work.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my bench work is not common lumber. My bench work is 3/4 inch sand ply that I ripped on the table saw to 3 inch by 3/4 inch by 3 inch. And the benefit of that is that it doesn't expand and contract like common lumber.
Now, what kind of lumber is this? Say it again.
Plywood. Sand ply.
Sand ply.
So it's a good quality plywood. You could actually make furniture out of it.
Really?
But if you buy, it's a lot more expensive now than what I paid for it back 20 years ago. But that works great because I just cut it on the table saw, rip it, and then and I don't need you don't need a 3.5, like a 1x4 is 3/4 by 3 and a half. I just make them 3 inches. So I make my L girders out of all plywood. So it doesn't expand and contract. And the same thing with my road bed. My road bed is 3/4 inch plywood.
Huh.
Cut to fit and
Fit where you need it to.
where
Yeah,
I need
yeah.
it. Right. So that it minimizes expansion and contraction. Because I have 2 gates that have to work to get in and out of this thing, which is probably, I don't recommend that. If you can avoid it, duck unders and gates and stuff like that, you can. But unfortunately, I had no way to get around it. That's another thing too, is like when I built this layout, I was a lone wolf. I didn't build it for 10 people to operate, or 5 people
Yeah, it
to
was
operate.
just for you.
Right. And then I joined this group, that we started building layouts for each other, helping, like doing round robin every week. And
You go to someone else's house. And...
Right. And at the time, everybody was building a layout. Nothing was really finished. And so I says, I think I made a mistake with this track plan because, I mean, it kind of works. I had to do some tweaking, but.
Well, like you said, you were a lone wolf. You were kind of like,
right.
I'm just doing this for me.
Right.
And now.
Yeah. And I just took, pen and paper and a tri-square and started
sketching
out. I'll put
here.
a track here, I'll put a track there. I got a level here, I got it underneath here. And, but I found out later on, she said, I could have done it a little differently, but that's water under the bridge now. And I've got too much work invested in this.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's,
they said, well, why don't you add a second level? No, thanks. I'm not.
I mean, I ran a session here with you, an operating session. And what
right.
we had 8, was it 8 people?
Probably. It was, yeah. I mean, it was too many. But, see, 5 people is perfect. So you have a yard guy, a tower man there. You can run 2 trains and a dispatcher.
Right.
And the layout can accommodate that and keep everybody busy. It's when you start squeezing 3 and 4 trains running, and you got bottlenecks, and you got to
hold off
and
here.
Guys don't stop where they're supposed to stop.
Right,
and
right.
You get clearance from the dispatcher, and it gets to be a real circus.
Mess. Yeah, it's a circus.
But we have fun, So I mean, it's.
Oh, I had a blast.
Yeah,
I had a blast.
Well, and that's another thing too about this hobby. It's not only the hobby itself. There's a social aspect to it too. Because I moved down here, I had no friends. I didn't know anybody. I only knew my wife. That was it. And when I joined the NMRA, Bob McIntyre, God rest his soul, he passed on. But I got talking to him, and he was saying he's building a layout. I says, well, geez, I'd like to come over and take a look and see what you're doing. And I went over there and see what he was doing. And the next thing you know, there's another guy comes over and see what he's doing. And next thing you know, we're working on it.
Everybody, yeah.
And so now every week we're going over to his house.
Nice.
And we're building a layout. A big, huge layout. It's a big basement. And I wish I had that here. But that was the beginning. And then it just kind of morphed from there.
Snowballed into
snowballed
to what we have.
But but it's good. So now we've got the same group together now for like 20 years.
Very nice.
That's all good.
Very nice. But no, I appreciate you for your time and allowing me to do this.
That's no problem.
I know people will enjoy it as much as I do. So.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
We try to spread the word.
Well, now I think that, like I said, the first video I did got some really good feedback, and I think, that's what my hope is that young people will start seeing this stuff, and we can
try to build
bridge
some interest.
that gap of
because we need young people to get into the hobby.
Yeah, to keep it alive.
And one of the problems is, and I think anyway, is that everything is so damn expensive now. I mean, you can't.
Hey, this is not for it's a rich man's hobby.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and it didn't. It wasn't that way.
Right.
When people had a kind of, when you went and you couldn't buy a ready to run engine.
No.
You had to go buy a kit. From Varney or Mantua or whatever. years ago, and you worked for months to get it to run.
Yeah.
So it was always something, and when it did run, it was like, wow, okay. It's not that way anymore. I mean, you can't even, I don't know where you can buy a kit locomotive anymore. I really don't. I don't know of any that
exists.
readily exist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's something else, man.
So the only thing you can build in kits now, or you can still get the freight car kits and the passenger car kits,
Mm-hmm.
but that's why I like the resin kits. So I build up a bunch of these resin because it keeps me busy. Because I have to do something.
Right.
This has been a godsend because it kept me busy for 20-something years.
Now you need something
without
else,
going crazy.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you should just add a second level then.
Yeah. I've been told that.
No, but thank you for like I said, allowing me to come out here and
my
film
pleasure.
the layout and stuff. So adios.
Adios.
That's it. All right, and that was episode 2 of Train Yardz. Down. I'm getting ready to shoot another one. But Brian, again, good dude, solid character. This was just a fun thing to do, fun to hang out with him, talk with him and his wife. This series, we touched on it a little bit in while we were talking, but I'm hoping that this series, one, just inspires people. You know what I'm saying? If you're working on your layout, you kind of get some little tips and stuff from other stuff that I'm showing here. But 2, to bring young people into the hobby, because like we were saying, it's to where they're not involved in like things that they need to really work with their hands and model kit building and cars and all that stuff. So hopefully this will reach some young folks and inspire them and be like, yo, I want to do a model train layout. I want to thank my Patreons. I appreciate y'all for y'all continued support. If you want to support me in any type of way, you can go to Patreon, check that out, or you can stay here on YouTube and support me down there as well. So there's plenty of ways to support. I appreciate it. I also got some new stuff out on my website, so check that out also. What else? I think that's it. Check out whatever video YouTube is asking you to stay. Go 2 clicks deep, meaning go watch 2 more videos. Just hang out, pro scale models, and enjoy yourself. 2 clicks deep. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.